Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to introduce a few new command line commands that help us create folders and files using the command line rather than having to go over here and do file, new file, or right click somewhere and do new folder or new file. Rather than having to do that, we'll be able to do it all through the command line. Before we get started on that though, I want to show you a few ways you can customize your environment and your editor on Cloud9. So if we go over here to the little settings button, it opens up preferences, and there's a few different things I'll point out. The first one that most people tend to care about is the theme and the syntax highlighting colors. When I first started teaching and I showed my students how they could change their color scheme on the terminal and also in Sublime Text, students went crazy and spent hours and hours creating custom themes and sharing them online and comparing them, trying to find the one that works just right for them. So if you do want to explore some of this and find one that you prefer, there are two different things you can customize in Cloud9. The first one is the theme of the actual application, so the color of the folder structure and the background colors. And the second one is the syntax highlighting, like the colors inside of this file. There are three choices for the theme, and I like this one here, the flat theme. I'll be using this one because it's higher contrast and easier to read over a screencast. So this is the syntax highlighting here, and we can change it using this little drop down, and we can make it into solarized dark, which is a pretty common one. You can see it changes. So totally up to you what you work with. I'll use Cloud9 Day and the flat theme. And then the next thing I want to do is increase this font size down here. So what you can do is go to settings and then scroll down to editors and terminal. You can change everything from the text color, the background color, all of that. I'm going to change the font size here. And I think that should work around 18. And there are quite a few other settings that you can work with here. So feel free to play around with those, find what works best for you. You can change everything from the font size to the number of spaces in your tabs to some of the autocomplete options as well. So I'll close out of that. Let's talk about the command line commands that I want to introduce. The first one is a command called touch, and touch will let us make a new file. Currently I'm inside of the workspace directory. Let's cd down to the colors directory, and there's two ways I could do that. I could do cd intro to command line and hit enter, and then I could do cd colors, and now I'm in the colors directory. Or I'll go back. I can also do it in one line by typing cd intro to command line / colors, and that will cd into both of them. And now I'm in the colors directory. So as I mentioned, the touch command will help us make a new file. So we type touch and then the name of the file. So I'll make one called orange.txt, and we can use it to make any type of file, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and those are the three main ones that we'll be using it for. But txt is fine, markdown, even a Word document if you wanted to, or a spreadsheet. You can create any type of file from the command line. So that's all I need to do, touch orange.txt, and if I hit enter, two things happen. One, over here, you can see that orange.txt has been added under the colors directory. And if I type ls, I now see orange.txt. Let's make one more file, touch yellow.txt. And that's also added over here. And if I type ls again, I see I have now red, orange, and yellow txt files. So that's touch. It will create a new file. And if we want to create a whole directory, I can use a new command called mkdir, or make directory. So people will call it Mkdir, make directory, just mkdir. You'll hear all sorts of different things. I usually call it make directory, and it makes a directory. So just like touch, we need to give it an argument. So I'm inside of the colors directory, and I want to make a new folder called fave colors. I could go over here and right click and find the new folder, and then I'd have to type in the folder name and hit enter. Or I can do make directory, mkdir, fave colors, just like that. and you can see fave colors has been added. And now I'll go into fave colors, cd fave colors, and I'll make some of my favorite color files. So purple.txt, and we'll do green.txt as well, and blue.txt. And in case you're wondering, purple is actually my favorite color. Green and blue are just there completely as filler, so disregard that. All right, so if we type ls, you see now we have 3 files inside of fave colors. And if I cd ... I'm now inside of the colors directory, and we have fave colors, orange.txt, red.txt, and yellow.txt. Okay, so to review, we have touch to make a new file, and make directory, Mkdir, to make a directory. So now if I say let's make a new directory called X or a new file called app.js, you'll see me most of the time doing touch app.js. Or if I need to make a directory called models, it will be make directory models. At the beginning, I will make a point of showing both ways so that if you're still getting used to the command line, you'll see how you can do it over here by right-clicking or by using the file menu. But it is the developer way and the faster way of getting things done to just use the command line.